Yesterday we were talking about what? Kenor?
About the sub.
Okay, you guys speak a little louder.
About the party sub.
Yeah, about the party sub, right? And why did I have this big party sub?
Because you were cleaning the garden.
Yeah, I was cleaning my mom's garden. And I ended up... Okay, so where we left off was where? How many people did I have so far at my house? Not one? I had 5 people at my house? 4. And I've cut my sub, or I haven't cut them actually. We've cut our subs into how many parts? 4. And when there was 2 people, how many parts do we have? 2. Is anyone finding a pattern so far? Amo?
It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
So as I had, okay, you said bigger and bigger, but we'll come back to it. So you're saying that when I had 1 person, I had a whole sub. When I had 2 people, how many parts did I have?
2.
2. When I had 4 people, how many parts did I have? When I had 4 people, how many parts did I have? 4. But then, Emil, you said that the sub it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
No, like the sub is shrinking, but the amount of people is getting bigger.
So my sub is shrinking. The piece of my sub is shrinking, but the amount of people is getting bigger and bigger. Interesting. But I thought that the number 4 is bigger than the number 2. So what do you mean my pieces are getting smaller and smaller and smaller? How is that possible? Isn't the number 4 bigger than the number 2?
It's getting bigger.
So if I have 4 pieces and 2 pieces, what do you mean the 4 pieces are smaller than my 2 pieces? When you talk to someone in your group, think through that.
So like because of the word, when another person comes into your house, they want bigger for both of them, right? So if they had like 4 people, it's only 27 centimeters. Isn't 27 more small than 40? So that's why the amount of this getting the amount of it the parts getting smaller, and the people are getting more people coming. And then the parts of it getting smaller. I was talking now. Your turn.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. So, why is 1/4 smaller than 1/2? I mean, I thought the number 4 is bigger than 2. I thought the number 4 is bigger than 2. Agree?
Like the parts have to get like smaller with 4 people because you have to fold it more times, and when you fold more times, it'll make it smaller.
Okay, so I'm folding it more times. What am I folding? Or what am I cutting? What am I actually cutting up? Pranav?
You're cutting up the sub.
I'm cutting up the sub. When I say the number, how many subs do I have?
One.
If I said the number 4, when I say 4 is bigger than 2, what am I talking about? What do you think I'm talking about? The number 4. When I say the number 4 is larger than the number 2, what am I talking about? What do you think I'm thinking about in my head? What would you think of when I say the number 4? 4 what? What do you think? 4 what? 4 pieces? So this is 4 pieces? Anything else you think about?
4 something.
4 something? Yeah, 4 objects of something, like so 4 bananas or 4 apples? Or 4 subs? Pardon?
4 slices.
4 slices? Okay. When I talk about 1/4 though, what am I talking about?
You have 1/4, but you only have 4 pieces.
So I have 1/4 of what?
Sub.
Of the sub. If I said the number 4, how many subs would I have? 4 4 subs. Is this the same as this? Is this the same 4 subs as this? Okay, hands up for yes. Hands up for no. Okay. Don't be swayed by other people because the majority said yes. Think about it, or don't be swayed because the majority says no. So I see the majority of you are saying yes. This is the exact same thing that the number 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 individual subs is the exact same thing as 4 pieces of a whole. This is the exact same. Amo, you said no.
Because like the first, the purple ones are like a whole sub. So like the bottom one, like, and it's a whole sub, but it's cut it into pieces.
Okay, so this is what I'm hearing you say. This is whole. And this is pieces.
Yeah. Mr. So. I know.
Okay, so this is what Amo's saying. This is whole subs, and these are pieces of a sub. So some people said yes, they're the exact same thing. Why would you say yes, that they're the exact same thing? Pardon me?
Because they're 4 subs and they're 4 pieces, so it's still the same.
Okay, so you're still saying the same because the number is the same? Is number the only thing we look at for equality?
No.
Garit?
If we like for the peanut sub, it's the same thing because if you put it like all in like a half, if you put them together, they're gonna make one big sub again.
But is this the same size as this sub? If I put all these, let's just pretend that this sub here is the exact same sub as this. I didn't draw it properly. If I put these 4 subs together, to make one giant sub, is what you suggested, would it be the exact same size as that sub there? It would be? If I took this, let me redraw this one out. Sorry.
Of course. No.
Well, I'm just trying to represent that these are 4 individual subs, and this is one sub with 4 pieces. And I'm asking you, are they the exact same thing? Is this the same thing as this?
Yes.
And so some of you are saying yes, some of you are saying no. But what Garit said was, if I took all these pieces and put all these, sorry, not pieces, all these subs and put them together to make one giant sub, I'm going to get the exact same thing as this little one.
Yes.
This is gonna be like
Okay, so if I take the bottom one, yeah,
that. And so like the top one is the whole sub.
yep,
And then for the bottom one is like in like 4 pieces.
yep,
So if you have 4 people, it's still like the same thing. Because you just cut it 4.
okay.
And if you like
So you're saying that if I have 4 people, okay, so there's a group here of 4, and there's a group here, we'll do the back group 4. Which sub would you want? Do you want the whole sub, or would you like a little piece of it? Of one sub? Would you like a whole sub?
Yeah.
Or would you like a little piece of the sub? You want a little piece of the sub?
Yes.
Okay, so then are they the same? Hands up again, hands up now for yes. They are the exact same. The 4 whole subs is the same as 1/4 of a sub. Hands up for no. So a lot of people have changed their minds. Some people are still saying yes. I'm not saying anything yet. So those who changed your mind, speak up. Why did you change your mind? Besides that you now see a whole bunch of other people doing it. What's your thinking? Samima? You originally thought that 4 whole subs was the same as 4 pieces of one sub. But now you think that they aren't the same? Why not?
In 4 sub, if you put them together, there will be a big sub, but you can still cut it in half.
Okay. I'm kind of getting the idea that if I put the 4 whole subs, I'm going to get a much bigger piece. Manjot?
Like, if you put the 4 whole subs together, you will get, like, if there were really 4 whole big party subs, it would be longer than the classroom. So then, versus there's only 1 piece of a sub, it would be only, like, 10 inches.
So I'm going to write down a number for you, and I want you to think about this again. How do I represent this number? What is this?
1.
And how many holes do I have?
4.
So how do I write that number?
1 out of 4.
No, that's if I ate this one. What do I have?
4.
4. What do I have? 1 out of 4. So I'm asking you, is this the same as this? So this is 4 holes, Krish. And what does this mean? What does this mean?
But the reason I'm saying that is like each first represents like one of the boxes. So let's say that those are the same. So if you put them both together, that would equal 1 more. So then if you put all of those together, it would be the same as that.
So you're saying that this one piece here represents the same as this one piece there?
No. Actually, I mean that like one piece here represents one of those. So
Yeah. So this one sub represents the same as one thing there.
then.
Okay, so Krish, I have subs ready for you. Would you rather have this whole sub or this little piece of a sub? They're the exact same. This whole sub is the same size as this whole sub here. We understand that part? Okay. So would you rather have this sub or that sub? That part of the sub? Which one would you rather have? The whole sub or the part of a sub? And why would you rather have the whole sub? What would you rather have, Krish?
Like
The whole sub or part of a sub?
whole sub.
And why do you want the whole sub?
Because like first I thought that each of those would represent like one of those, and then I saw that they're the same size, and then I got messed up, and then only when I looked at it up close, then I got that both of them were the same size.
So, what is the difference then between this number and this number? 3?
Like the four the subs are the whole sub, but that low one, the 1.5, that means there's a half of one sub.
Yeah, not half, but a quarter. And I like what Emil, I'm going to come back to what Emil said, which was really surprising, because you were the one that first said no, and you're the only one. And you said no because this is whole subs, and these are...
Pieces.
So what are fractions then? Fractions are what? If you could say fractions in one sentence. Fractions are... Fill in the sentence with your group. Fractions are... And use these ideas.
One part of a number. What if we're like 2 out of 4?
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Let's hear some ideas. Fractions are... Nice and loud. Fractions are... Ivry? Yes, there's some multiplication in there. I agree. But I'm thinking of something with what we're relating here. Fractions are... Navjot?
Fractions are something that you want to take something out of.
Okay. Yes. So if I'm taking things out of something, what am I doing?
Subtracting.
Subtracting what?
Something.
Something.
Let's use some of the vocabulary that we've already talked about.
Subtracting a piece of a sub or a sub.
Subtracting pieces of a whole. Fractions are a part of a whole. And this is where, let's go back to every multiplication. 4 parts, each worth 1/4, is 1 whole. So we're going to explore that a little bit more now with the next part of our sub. So, like before, guess what happened? One more person? No, not even close. 4 more people came to the door. And this is pretty much the extent of my friends. So there's about 8 of us in a large group, and we're always together. And so, no, my friends, I've always grown up with them in university. We went from high school, university together, everything. So we're pretty much family. So 4 more people came over to do it. Now what do? How many pieces will I have? Talk to your group about that. How many pieces will I have? So what am I going to do with my sub now? How am I going to figure out if obviously you figured out that I need 8 pieces, and that was one of our learning here, right? As you have more people, you have more pieces. Maybe we can add amount of people equal amount of pieces. And our pieces need to be what? Need to be equal. So now what do? How am I going to figure out how to cut this sub up now? The first one I cut it in half. The second one I had to cut them into quarters. what am I gonna have to cut these pieces into? Maybe? Okay, think for a minute. No? Okay, Vidula?
Dimes.
Dimes, huh? Dimes? They're gonna turn into money?
10 centimeters.
Oh, because it was 80 centimeters up.
Yeah.
Right, I had to divide it into 10 centimeters each. And how many pieces will that be? And how much would each piece be worth? What do you think? Think about what do we have? It was called 1. Even if you don't know the name, you might know the fraction. How would I write the fraction? 1 piece was, for one person, was 1/2. This was 1. What do you think this one's going to be?
Are we even possible to cut it into that?
Pardon? 8. Amo's on fire today. It's an expression, means that she's listening and working well. So 8, because I am going to have how many? I need how many pieces?
8.
And how many pieces is each person going to get?
1.
And together that piece is worth 1/8. So 1 piece out of 8. The question is now, how do I figure out that?
Oh, that was easy. I was thinking about it.
Krish?
First you would fold into, first it's going to look like this, and then you fold that one, so then it's going to be this.
Okay, so it looks like a half, so I'm going to cut it in half, you said. And then I'm going to cut the half into half again, and I'm going to get that, what was that piece called again? A quarter, yeah. And then I'm going to cut the quarter into another half.
And then, did I even do that?
Well, that's what you were saying. So first it's going to look like the half, then it's going to look like the quarter. And then if I half the quarter, I get... Okay, try that with your... So Krish, as we were doing it, you said to me and said something really excitingly. You said, I have an observation. And what observation are you noticing? Boys? Listen to Krish. Yep.
First I put one of I put my stack like this, and then I saw that the other one wasn't equal, so then I started thinking differently, so then I took my red and I put some yellows, and so then I got it, so then I knew that I had to put 2 yellows on top, and then I got a bunch, and then I just got a bunch of and then I just took the black one and then set this, so I feel it was really the right answer, so then
Okay, let's go back to your first thinking. So you had them originally out. You originally had them out, you had the half piece out. I'm just trying to draw what you had. And then you put over top of that piece, you had your quarters. And then over top of your quarters you had your... And what did you notice?
then I noticed that actually it looked kind of full, so then I did it on that, and then it still looked like there was still some more space.
Oh, so you put them all in the hole. And how many of those yellow pieces did you notice fit on your hole?
I saw the right amount, but then I also thought that if it was the real answer, then maybe that was right, and then, so that's how I confirmed that it was right.
Oh, okay. Does anyone else notice a really cool observation with what... I thought this was where Krish was going, but... So I drew it out. So Krish said the half was the green one. He then noticed something on your half with the red. What do you notice between the red and the half and the quarter? What do you notice? Vidula?
It's like plastic.
the same amount.
What do you mean plus the same amount?
First it was 1, then you plus another 1, it made 2 people. And then there was 2, and then you plus the 2, and then it made 2 people. And then there was 4, and then you doubled 4, and it made 8 people.
So every time I move through my denominator here, what's happening to my denominator? What word did you use, Vidula?
It's doubling the number.
What's doubling again? What's Gershon? Okay. Proudnor?
It's like just adding, like if you have like 2, you have to like add the number again, like 2 plus 2, that's a double.
So my denominator is doubling. The amount of pieces that I have is doubling. But what's happening to the actual size of the pieces?
They're getting shorter.
By how much?
It's like before there was 2, so it was more bigger.
Yeah, so I started with 1 originally, right?
Yeah.
And then I got how many pieces?
2.
2.
And then you got 4. And then you got 8.
So as my denominator is doubling in size, the pieces are actually getting by what? They're not doubling, obviously.
It's just by 2.
Do you know that word? What's the opposite of doubling? No, not commutative property.
Commutative properties?
That's a different one.
Comprehension?
Starts with an H. It's halving. Denominator is doubling. Our pieces are halving. Wow, that comes back to that our whole versus our pieces, because our whole is still only 1 sub. Look at all that learning. Great job. We're actually going to stop.